Hey everyone, I'm John. I collect cards. Happy New Year. I hope your 2026 is off to a great start, at least these first few hours. I am posting this video on New Year's Day, and what this video is my third top 25. Although in the thumbnail and title of the video you saw top 26. That's because what I'm going to do in this video is show my top 26 graded vintage baseball cards entering 2026. Let's make it a top 26. Why not? The more the merrier, right? This is the third straight year I've been doing this video on New Year's Day. Just kind of it's sort of a nice check for myself in some ways too, just to kind of get an idea of, what cards are, have really kind of, moved up, or maybe if in terms of value, and maybe some have moved a little bit down. I have several new additions in this year's list, and I look forward to sharing these cards with you. So yeah, let's get right to it. Hang on one sec. Let's look at some nice vintage baseball cards. Hang on. Okay, so before I get to the four cards that you're looking at right now, I just wanted to kind of briefly mention my 2025 hobby year. It was quite something. I made a lot of great goal pickups, and I had a couple of surprises in terms of pickups in the vintage space, which is the vast majority of where I operate in the hobby now. Since my 5 years ago, I got back in the hobby, dabbled in both the modern stuff and vintage, and have gradually shifted to vintage, where I'm almost exclusively in the vintage space now. But I had some really interesting pickups this year, which I'll touch on a couple of them as I proceed through the list. So with that kind of in front of me here, I wanted to start with these first four, which I'm actually calling the first four out. It's kind of like an NCAA tournament kind of bracket thing, although this isn't a bracket. But these four just missed the top 26 for 26, entering 26. So really I'm showing 30 cards in this video. An excuse to show four more. So here they are. My 34 Diamond Stars Paul Waner, SGC Authentic. My T206 of Frank Chance, the red background portrait in SGC2, which was a big gold pickup of mine this year. Got it at the National. The 1933 Gaudy Leo Durocher rookie card. Is generally accepted rookie card in a PSA 3, and a 1967 Topps Mickey Mantle in an SGC 3. These four just missed my list with a slight asterisk, in that the Waner, and I'm using VCP, by the way. VCP average prices is how I did my list, but I'm actually not going to show the prices this year. And the, like, kind of where they finished the year before, if it's a card that carried over from the year prior. I'm just going to kind of run through the cards as quickly as I can this time. But right before I get to the number 26, I wanted to touch on the Waner. On my spreadsheet, the Paul Waner actually comes in at number 26, but it's really an outlier in terms of the price that the most recent SGC Authentic went for, which was over a year ago now, and so it's considered the average by VCP. It went for $250, and there are ones and twos, and even maybe 2.5s that don't hit that number. So I believe it was a buy it now for the Authentic that had gone for $250 over a year ago. So I consider that an outlier, and so I didn't put it in the top 26. So I included it here, but wanted to show these four here to get us started. And let's look at what is number 26 on my list. And it's a surprise. There are some real, and I'll try to touch on these as well, some real surprising climbers this year, especially in the latter half of the year, and even the last quarter, even since like September. And this is one of them right here, number 26 on my list. 1962 Topps AL home run leaders. It's in a nice grade, PSA 7. It's an old slab, old flip, but this is actually a pretty nice 7, I think. I think this I'm not going to regrade it, but if I did, who knows, it could end up being a 6, but it's a 7. So for those registry folks, which I'm not one, it's I guess an even better card in that regard. I love this card. I picked this up at Strongsville in 2024. Got it from Ash, actually. And so I'm going to mention this price, and this will be like kind of the baseline for, you know, all the other cards moving up. And if you're curious on kind of what they are going for, just, you know, I'll note the grade. If you have a VCP subscription, check out the average price. Go look it up. I encourage you to do that. But this currently is averaging about 248 and change. 248 and change is where that is. So that's kind of where our kind of floor is for this list. So, but this is number 26. Okay, at number 25. Number 25 is my 1939 play ball Henry Greenberg, better known as Hank Greenberg, in an SGC3. I just love this card. You know, staining and all. The staining kind of makes it even more real to me in some ways. It looks like, I mean, it kind of almost looks like motor oil. It almost makes me think like a car mechanic looked at this card. He came home from work and maybe his kid wanted to show him he got a Hank Greenberg card that day. And maybe, you know, maybe they handled it for a bit and got a little fingerprint staining on it. But yeah, it's a cool card. This was a surprise pickup of mine at the Cleveland National in 24. Was not looking for a Greenberg that year, but got a real nice deal on it, and absolutely love it. It is, I believe, my only Hank Greenberg in my collection currently, and it comes in at number 25 on my top 26 for 2026. Moving on to number 24. Another favorite of mine. These are all favorites of mine, of course. It's my T205 Eddie Collins, the open mouth variation in an SGC1. I will show the backs of all these cards. But yeah, this has been on my list. Gosh, I think it's been on all three of my lists, actually. Got it a little over 2 years ago now. The tape staining on the back. It's an honest long cut. Tape staining on the back, but you could still read everything, which to me is great. So there's actually no paper loss. It's just got that severe tape staining. Really nice example. Really nice example. Love this card. Collins Mouth Open Variation, SGC1, T205 at number 23. Number 22 is my second year Sandy Koufax, 1956 Topps in an SGC 3.5. Got this at an LCS, bought it ungraded, sent it in, came back with the 3.5, really happy. You know, and the vast majority of these cards are going to be in their sleeves. I just didn't want to take out almost 30 cards out of their slabs out of their sleeves, so I will aim to keep the glare at a minimum as I try to move along quickly. But, you know, I do want to try to give you some backstory in terms of, you know, how I picked up the card, or maybe how a particular card is you know, kind of suddenly heating up in terms of some recent sales, etc. And as I say that, here's one of them. This is one of the big climbers on the list. Look up VCP, if you have VCP or Card Ladder, look up recent sales of the Juan Marichal 1961 Topps rookie card. It surprisingly has climbed. I don't even think this was in my list last year, or if it did, it was really, it maybe just snuck in. I honestly can't remember. I didn't watch the video in the last few weeks leading into this, but the Marichal rookie has made it to number 21 on my list. It's really climbed in the last 3 months. Interestingly enough, mine examples in a PSA 6. I absolutely love it. I am in the process of, and I think it's going to be an actual goal. I'll do a video soon probably in the first couple of weeks of the year of January of my goals for this year. And I would like to pick up all of the main design base cards, if you will, of the Hall of Famers from 61 Topps. I did a rough count. I think I need 12 more. But I have all three main rookies, including the Marichal, which is the most valuable. The other two are Ron Santo and Billy Williams. They didn't make this list. But I only need 12, and I have at least 20 or 22 or so currently. There are well over 30 of these main card designs for 61 Topps, and I want to take a shot and try to get them all. So you'll see a few more 61s on this list, or at least one or two more. So let's move on to number 20. Number 20 was a an exciting pickup of mine this year. 1965 Topps Willie Mays in a PSA 6. It's a really strong card. This was part of what I would call my auction win of the year. And it was a Heritage. Yeah, I think it really was. I mean, I had another really great auction win, that you'll see later in this video from 25. But I think this one, I got this as one of two cards. I got a 2-card lot. This card and another one you're going to see a little later in this video. And I just got them for a really good deal because they didn't show pictures. Heritage didn't show a picture of the other card that you'll see soon at the start of the lot listing. They only showed this one as like the lead photo. You didn't see both cards. And yeah, I think that may have impacted the bidding potentially. But this 65 Mays comes in at number 20 on my list. Okay. Bear with me for a couple of seconds here. I'm going to put these cards off to the side, get out a new stack, and we'll go through the next batch here. All right, number 19, 20? 1, 2, 3. Bear with me. The Mays was number 21. The 65 Mays was 21. Marichal rookie was 22. This is number 20. 1961 Topps Mickey Mantle SGC 3. It's not a great 3. It's a pretty good 3. It's got a little bit of a wrinkle up there, or a little bit of a crease up there, but overall, I think the overall image impression is pretty good. I think it's got maybe a print line there too, potentially. I can't tell if that's the sleeve or the card. It might be the card. Either way, it's a nice mantle overall for me. Got a couple of mantles in my collection. You'll see 1 more, 2 more. I think 1 more. No, you'll see 2 more in this video. This one's at number 20 on my list. 61 SGC 3. I just talked about the 61 goal I have, and the fact that I also have this card is another reason why I'm thinking about and will likely pursue that goal of collecting the rest of the Hall of Famers from that year. Okay, number 19 is a Diamond Star. Another Diamond Star. You saw the Paul Wainer at the start of the video. Just missed the list, but Bill Dickey's firmly on it at number 19. Really, really love this card. I got this at Strongsville. I think I got this at... No, I got this at the National. I got this at the Cleveland National as well, along with the Greenberg. This was my big pickup of the year, of that show in 24. Bill Dickey, PSA 4 Diamond Stars. Here's the back. I don't know if I've been showing the backs of all these cards, but I wanted to, but I think I may have slacked off on a few, but here's the back of this one. Pretty nice copy, even with that fisheye, big deal. Absolutely love this card. Love the bold New York print. I'm a Yankees fan. If you're not, if you're new to my channel, first, thank you for stopping by, but I am a Yankees fan. I grew up in New York, currently live in Michigan and have for some time. But yeah, my Bill Dickey is number 19 on this year's list. Again, my top 26 here as we start 2026. And number 18 is another mantle. My 1957 Topps mantle in a pretty poor, quite poor PSA 1. Yeah, this is a pretty wrecked version of beater, if you will. But this will always be special to me because it's my first Mickey Mantle. So I won't upgrade this ever. I will always keep this one. First Mickey Mantle card, playing days card for me. And yeah, creasing, significant creasing and all. I just love it. So, I mean, even with that, the color actually isn't too bad on this card. You try to look for the positives, right? So yeah, my 57 mantle is number 18 on my list. Number 17. Number 17 is my Reggie Jackson rookie card from 1969 Topps. This is another one that has climbed quite a bit this year. Yeah, I mean, in terms of what I got this for on eBay just about 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago, I don't think. And then the grading fee I got, I'm just very surprised at where this, how high this card has climbed, even in an SGC 5 in the last year. So if you want to look up kind of recent sales of this one, but the Jackson rookies, I'd call it a bona fide classic at this point, for sure. It's a great rookie card. Reggie Rookie, SGC 5, number 17 on my list. Now we're at number 16. We're going to go back to pre-war here with one of my absolute favorite pickups of this year. One of my main goals of the year. I'd say this card was probably my number 2 goal of the year. The Frank Chance T206 you saw at the very start of the video was probably my number 3 main goal. And you'll see my number 1 goal card from 2025 later in the video that I was able to get. This was my second one. I had wanted this Bill Terry 33 Goudey for, gosh, at least a couple of years. Since I got into pre-war about 3 years ago, when I really made the dive into pre-war, I identified this card quickly as one that I absolutely had to have in my collection. I just think, I call this a work of art. All baseball cards, especially pre-war and, vintage, golden era to pre-war, they're works of art. But this one is a standout in my opinion. Just an absolutely fantastic, portrait that the artist captured on this one. Here's the back. This is one of my favorite cards in the collection. This is card 125, Bill Terry, Hall of Fame first baseman. The Giants, New York Giants, was the player manager in 33, and the Giants won the World Series that year after Terry had just taken over for John McGraw. Yeah, so Terry has another card in the set, but it's nowhere near as impressive to me anyway as this one. Bill Terry is still the last National League player to hit 400 in a season. In 1930, I believe it was. It says it on here. He hit 401 in 1930. Bill Terry, 33 Goudey's number 16 on my list this year. All right. At number 15, we're going to start to see a lot of 1954 Hall of Famers, starting with this one here. This was another huge pickup this year. This actually was not, believe it or not, was not an absolute goal I had. This was an eventual goal. I didn't think this pickup was going to happen this year, but it did. I got it at the National, and I'm absolutely thrilled with my 1954 Red Heart Stan Musial in a PSA 2. You take a look at that. Take a gander at this thing, at this card, at this example. From this distance, and I mean, to me, it's just a stunner. It's an absolute stunner. This is a key pickup in my goal that I've talked about. It's still an active goal. I'm very close to finishing it now. I need 1 card. I'm collecting the Hall of Famers that are not in the 1954 top set. I've identified 16 cards, most from Bowman, that I'm targeting and have picked up. A couple of others from a few other sets, including this one from Red Heart. There are other Hall of Famers that are not in the top set that have Red Heart cards, but I picked those up in Bowman's just from a budget standpoint mostly. But Musial only had a 54 in Red Heart, and I mean, it's probably the best Red Heart. Some people might say the Mantle Red Heart's the best in that set. I beg to differ. I think the Musial's the absolute most stunning card in that set, of a set full of stunning cards. I'll probably pick up a couple of other Red Hearts in the future. This is my only one currently, and you know what? Why not start with what I think is the best one? So, Stan Musial is number 15 on this year's list. 54 Red Heart. Absolutely love it. All right, number 14. You remember the card I showed of the 65 Mays? That was part of the Heritage 2-card auction. That was my auction win of the year, I would say. Here's that other card that was not listed. The picture of this card was not pictured with the Mays as the lead photo of the listing. And so a lot of people probably missed this card, which was raw, actually. The Mays was already graded PSA 6, and maybe that's why they didn't include this in the lead shot, because it was raw. But I won the auction lot, sent this in not long after I got it, from Heritage, and it came back in SGC 7. This card is a blazer. This card is an absolute blazer. So I would love to be able to pick up a few more higher grade, golden age or golden era vintage cards in the coming, maybe, near term future, say 1 to 3 years. I kind of have my focus kind of is on still picking up like a lot of pre-war examples or cards that I would love to add, and maybe even some like late 40s, early 50s kind of cards. And so I not necessarily would be targeting the high grades for those kinds of cards from a budget standpoint. So I'm still kind of in that mode, but every now and then to be able to pick up a high grade example of a card like this, it's a nice way to collect as well when I can make it happen. And I love to be able to. I love that I was able to make it happen for this example. This is a great one. So anyway, this 65 Aaron comes in at number 14 this year. New to the list. Got it probably in like the spring of 25. At number 13, we're now going to see a lot of these 54 Topps cards. I have 6 1954 Topps cards here in these last 13 cards because I do have the entire 1954 Topps set. I collected it actively. It was my primary goal in my first like 2.5 years back in the hobby when I got back in 2020 after being away for well over 25 years, almost 30. And I managed to complete that set, and it's a goal that I still kind of, pinch myself every now and then thinking, holy moly, I have all 250 cards from that iconic set, including number 1. This is card number 1 of that set, the Ted Williams. I have it in an SGC 4, and it is at number 13 on my list this year. Here's the back. Just a stupendous card. Love both of the shots, both of his images on here. Love that image, great smile, and that swing pose is just money. It's just a really, really great card. So, and it's well centered too. Even with the rounded corners, the centering is a real nice standout on this. So, my Teddy Ball Game number 1 is at number 13 on my list. Number 12 is card number 10 in that 54 Topps set. My Jackie Robinson in an SGC 2. SGC 2, I've shown this a few times. It's mostly notable for this very unique kind of creasing on this card, as if it doesn't really come through on the back. Here's the back real quick. But I probably haven't shown this card for a year, probably since the last list, so I'll show this again. It has almost like maybe someone put a coffee cup on the card at some point and creased the heck out of it. But absolutely love having this one in the collection. This is my first Jackie Robinson, and you will see one more Jackie Robinson on this list. But my 54 Jackie is number 12. Number 11 is another 54, and it is none other than the Say Hey Kid Willie Mays. SGC 3. Look at that yellow background, that smile of Willie. This is, in my opinion, I think this is his best card. Probably about a couple of years ago now, I did a video or a VR video. I think it was Wade Boggs fan John who asked us if we could only have one card in our entire collection, what would it be? And for me, this is the card. I just think this card says it all. 1954, Willie's first MVP season. The Giants won the World Series. They were still in New York. It's, to me, 1954 was kind of like the peak of that golden age of New York baseball. Even though the Giants or the Dodgers and the Yankees didn't make the World Series that year, it was one of the only years in that era that they didn't make the series, either one of them. But my dad and his dad were New York Giants fans during that time, and so I kind of gravitate to that those Giants years. I'm a Yankees fan, but I have a little bit of a soft spot for the San Francisco Giants because of the New York Giants. So anyway, Willie Mays is number 11 on my list with his 54 Topps card. All right, we're in our top 10. This is going a little longer than I expected, but for these kind of lists, I guess it's bound to happen, right? So if you're still with me, I appreciate that. Let's see if we can run through these top 10 relatively quickly. Got to move this for this one. We got another Willie Mays card at number 10. It's my 1960 McGregor Willie Mays in a PSA 5. So I had to decide if I wanted to include this in the list this year. Last year, I left it off my list because basically, long story short, this card does not sell very often, and there are only about 20, I think it was 24 PSA graded copies out there, according to VCP. I did not count, check SGC's site for their pop count. It's probably, if I had to guess, between 10 and 20. And there are only 19 sales that are tracked or listed on VCP of this card. So it just doesn't sell very often. I have it in a PSA 5, and there hasn't been a PSA 5 sale since about 2021. But in 2023, a PSA 3 sold for a good amount to, and that's the kind of the barometer I use. There have only been 2 sales since then, or maybe one more since then, and it was in a PSA 4, which went for less than the 3, but it's still like, I'm explaining it too much, but those were the sale number that I'm using this to put it on this list at number 10 was based on a heritage auction. And the most 1 or 2 sales after that were on eBay. And I think in the right auction house setting, aka not eBay, this card performs well, or would perform very well. And that's why I decided to put it in the list this year, and I put it at number 10. So if you got VCP, check out this card, or Card Ladder, check out this card to kind of see what I mean. Yeah, it's a really cool card, or photo card. I mean, this is really the only photo kind of card I have on the list, but I do call this a card. It is a blank back. It's McGregor Baseball Advisory Staff of Champions. So I decided to include it this year after leaving it off last year. I don't have too many oversized cards, and that one's my kind of most valuable, I guess you could say. But now that was number 10, so now we have 9 to go. These are all regular size baseball cards, and it's starting with number 9, my Al Kaline rookie from 1954 Topps. This is a nice one. The color, I really like picking this one up. I bought most of my 54s raw, including this card. Sent it in, got the SGC 3.5. Here's the back. Yep. Mr. Tiger at number 9 on this year's top 26 for me at an SGC 3.5. All right, number 8. Number 8 is my 1951 Burke Ross Joe DiMaggio. This card, I believe, may have been a top 5 card last year, but it's down to number 8 this year due to some other pickups I made in 2025. But this was one of my best pickups in 2024 in terms of an auction win. I got this on eBay raw for what I thought was a pretty very, very reasonable price. And then they came back with the 2 from SGC, which I was happy about. It's got the crease going all the way across and some staining. But, man, other than that, this is a really nice card. Actually, there is one more crease there. But this is just, I loved being able to get this. This is my first Joe DiMaggio card. And so I will always treasure this. Burke Ross 51, his last playing year. So it is a playing era card of the Yankee Clipper. At number 8 on my list. Number 7 is my the final mantle you'll see in this video. It's a fairly recent pickup from the early fall. Another surprise, my 1954 Bowman Mickey Mantle. Just like the Musial that you saw earlier from the Red Heart, I was not expecting to get this card this year. It was not considered a realistic goal. But somehow I picked up both the Musial and the Mantle this year, which are the 2 priciest cards from this non-Topps 54 Hall of Famer goal. I made it happen. I just determined this was the card for me at the time. Right around this time, this was a Huggins and Scott. I think that's the name of that auction house. Huggins and Scott. Yeah. Got this from their auction, I think in October, I want to say. And I had just consigned a bunch of modern cards, actually. And so that consignment actually paid for like half of this card. So it just, the timing was right. And this was the one for me. It's an authentic min size, but I mean, it's got a lot of creasing in it too. Here's the back. but it's got some nice eye appeal for that authentic and for that creasing. The color on this really jumped out at me, and that's why I seriously stayed in that auction and ended up winning it. So, and it is number 7 on my list this year. Now, this is actually a fluctuating price. This because of the authentic. I mean, their authentics run the gamut in terms of condition beyond like a min size. So when I first picked it up, this would have been a few places higher. It's actually dropped a little bit in December based on some other authentic sales that have registered. But I don't really pay too much attention to that. In the end, I think I got it for a very fair price. All things considered, it's a mantle for Pete's sake, 50s, 54. So really, really happy with this card, this edition, and this particular card. So it's number 7 on my list. All right, number 6. Number 6 is going to be is it number 6? Yes, it's number 6. My 1954 Ernie Banks rookie card. PSA 1.5. This card has picked back up a little bit this year, along with the K-Line. I showed a few cards back. The Banks and the K-Line rookies from 54 Topps had been down a bit. They've recovered a little bit in the last year, which has been nice to see. What I really love about my version, even with those rounded corners, there's really no creasing on this card. But, it's really, really rounded to the point where some of the corners are like frittering away a bit. But what I love about it is that the top is centered well. It's not cut off up there, the lettering or the logo. And there are so many examples where it is like that. So that's why I thought this card was the one for me when I did pick it up probably about 3 years ago now. So my Banks rookie is at number 6. All right, we have 5 to go, folks. Let's get right to it. My number 5 card this year, going into the year, is my one and only Cracker Jack in my collection. And the player's name is William Killefer, Bill Killefer. I've talked about this card on several occasions. It's number 5 on my list this year. It's a 1915 in an SGC 7, which is a crazy grade, I know. But if you're not familiar, Cracker Jack did cards in 1914 and 1915. And in 1915, they were not only in the box of Cracker Jack, you could also order them through the mail as a complete set. And so obviously this came as a complete set. Here's the back. Here's the back. I still have it in like the eBay authentication sleeve. I just left it in here for whatever reason. So I'm showing it like this today. But I mean, gosh, this card is just stunning. Just to be able to have a Cracker Jack. And this was a bit of an impulse buy. The reason I picked this one up, I'll share real quick, is because I live in Southwest Michigan, and so it mentions Kalamazoo and such, and Paw Paw is very close to where I live, and so it's just those kind of reasons kind of drew me to it, and I just thought, it was an interesting story with that. But overall, also, he had a pretty interesting career. He was also a manager for a short time, but his main claim to fame, and he's on the Phillies here. Beyond it just being a stunning image, I think this is one of the most impressive portraits in the whole set, to be honest. I just think that, look at that image. It captures him so well. And I love the different reds. So like, look at the shade of red on his cap and on his letter versus the red background. I just love the different shades of red on this card. Bill Killefer was Grover Cleveland Alexander's catcher. I think they were a battery for over 200 of Alexander's starts. Grover Alexander, of course, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. So it would be amazing to add the Alexander card from this set someday, but it's an all-time goal card. I'd call it a borderline grail for me. To be able to match these two up in one collection would be incredible, but that's probably way down the line. But anyway, my Bill Killefer is at number 5 this year. Cracker Jack, if you have the opportunity to add a Cracker Jack to your collection, I highly recommend you do so. All right, we've got 4 to go, folks. These are all big. We're at big cards now, including my 1953 Topps Jackie Robinson. This was my number 1 goal card of 2024. Yeah, my number 1 goal card of 2024 was this one here. I actually got it on eBay. It was already graded, and yeah, it just turned out the deal turned out well. I got a pretty decent price on it at the time, and it's picked up since then. And yeah, it's just a real nice example. I love this card. It's such a fun card. Card number 1 in the 53 set as well. I would love to add one more Robinson in my collection. I have this one in the 54, which I shared earlier. This one's an SGC 2.5, as you can see. I would love to add, I think, his 55 someday. Dodgers won the World Series that year, and it's just a great card. So I think at some point I'd love to add his 55. Not sure if it's going to happen in 26, but yeah. But my 53 is number 4 this year on my list, and yeah, it's a real nice image of him. All right, 3 to go. So Jackie was my number 1 gold card of 24. My number 1 gold card of 2025 comes in at number 3 on my list of top 26 cards, and it's my 1940 play ball of the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. Got this card way back in January of 25, about a year ago. But I think it was at the end of January. It was a heritage auction. I was actually I did a live stream with John 3D80's Kid following the close of that auction, and when I won this card. So that was kind of a memorable auction win on a few levels. It was, had the fun experience of that live stream, and picked up my number 1 gold card of the year of one of my favorite players of all time. So I'll show it up close here. Joe DiMaggio 40 play ball. His 41 play ball is more iconic, arguably, because of the streak that year and the colors on it. But I actually like his 40 more. I like the actual photograph, and I really like the pennant on the designs of the Yankees and Reds cards from that set. So here's my number 3, Joe DiMaggio 40 play ball. On the medal stand, if you will, and in 3rd position. But they're all gold medalists, right? All 26 of these are. And all these videos, that I've been watching of other, top cards and collections, and I've got a lot to watch actually here in the days ahead. But I mean, these are all gold medal cards. I mean, these are just, these kinds of cards. All, like, for me, all 26 of these, and that's why we collect. We're sometimes we like to dive into the smaller, goals we have, but when we're able to add some of these bigger cards like this, it's just, fulfilling in ways that's, I guess only a collector could know. And, in some ways we're all collectors, I guess, right? But it's just the gene we have as humans. But, for me, it's vintage baseball cards in a lot of ways. And, yeah, with that, let's get to number 2 on this list. Number 2 on this list was number 1 on my previous 2 lists, but it has been bumped off the number 1 perch on the ladder, so to speak. Here it is. Pretty incredibly, my 1954 Topps Hank Aaron is my number 2 most valuable card in my collection. Here it is. It's an SGC 1.5. Creasing, probably a bike spoke card. It's got creasing in each of the quadrants, as I call it, on the card. There's the back. Oh, I'm just thrilled to have been able to add this to the collection. I've had it for, gosh, over 2 years now. I think it'll be 3 years this spring. Maybe even 4 years. No, I think I got it in 22, actually. Maybe 23. I can't remember. One of those 2 years. But this was the last card of my Topps 54 set that I picked up. Yeah, was able to make it happen, and love the version I have in my collection. So Hank Aaron rookie card is number 2 on my list this year. You probably know what my number 1 card is this year, or that's on my list now for most valuable cards, if you watch some of my videos from earlier this year. This story was just pretty nuts. This is probably my most interesting acquisition, and then how it came to be in terms of getting it graded and all that stuff. I'm just going to show the card right now. The new number 1 on my top card list of most valuable cards. It's my 1959 Topps Bob Gibson rookie in a PSA 7. How that came to be is just kind of nuts, but I'll try to give you the short version, as someone in Spaceballs once said. Which has a sequel coming out in 2027, believe it or not. I can't wait for that. That'll be great. Okay, let's get back to this. Got this in my LCS back in the spring. Centering is great. Centering's great. That's what immediately drew me to it. Had a ton of wax staining on it. A ton of wax staining. You had it listed for a pretty reasonable price all the same. So I thought about it for a day. He had it on hold for me while I thought about it. I went back in either a day or two later, picked it up, and then hemmed and hawed about whether I should take the wax staining off. I eventually did, sent it into PSA, got the major upcharge on it after they graded it a 7, and gosh, you know, now it's the most valuable card in my collection by quite a bit. Believe it or not. I mean, if you look up the recent prices of this card selling, it's pretty incredible where this is at. But, you know, that is my number 1 card. Let's put them in the middle. We'll show my top 3 here to close this out. I want to thank you all for watching. You know, we're going to put my top 4 on. We're going to put Jackie on here too. We got to do that, right? Let's get Jackie on here too at number 4. So yeah, I'm excited to see what I could add in 2026. I'll be doing a goal video of kind of my primary targets for the year very soon, maybe even in the next week. But gosh, thank you for watching. If you've stayed with me throughout, I really do appreciate it. Have a great collecting year in 2026, everybody. And until the next video, take care and Happy New Year.